These are sounds and words of the bloodiest battle in history. For this is the conquest of Iwo Jima. Listen to these sounds and these words.
The sky is still black with planes, hovering back and forth over that ridge. We see another plane going down now on a straight and run up near the western side of the ridge, a little bit too far away for you to hear it. These planes are giving the Marines real support, the kind they need and the kind they deserve. However, as we said, you can't get the Japanese out of these pillboxes with air power alone. Here goes another pair of rockets right in front of them. You probably heard that all right, and there goes another salvo.
The 4th and 5th Marine Divisions landed at Iwo February 19, 1945. Japs had been pounded steadily for more than 6 weeks by air and by sea. They were still waiting when we came ashore. How did the beach look? It wasn't pretty.
That beach is a scene that is difficult to describe. As we told you, it's all black sand. It's a very steep beach, so we were able to go right in and drop the ramp on the land. Just off the bow of our ship as our ramp was down were these Marines stretched out for cover behind those guns we told you about earlier, and also wounded men lying on stretchers and some not on stretchers, waiting for aid to be given them and waiting to be evacuated to the hospital, which are lying out beyond us, out of range of this artillery and mortar fire. Not one but hundreds of men crouched down there behind those barricades, and not one but hundreds of wrecked machines, jeeps, a couple of wrecked tanks, Amtrak, all sorts of equipment scattered and strewn around helter-skelter. It's a sight that is difficult to describe, as we said, and it's difficult as what's going on there this morning. And that is a very hard, difficult, tough fight.
It was hot on that beach as the infantry dug in. It was hot, too, in the tanks that faced early fighters.
We have spotted it in those caves up there on the high ground immediately to our front. Over. Over. Hello, Tom. Steve, have you made contact with your infantry yet? Over. Steve, we're up here and can't make it through this damn ravine to our left. We haven't, the infantry is surrounded at all, and right we're up here, there's a couple of pillboxes. We're getting a hell of a lot of artillery fire.
Bit by bit, pillbox by pillbox, we inched ahead. We were making progress now, for the Stars and Stripes flew above Mount Suribachi.
2 complete Marine divisions have been put ashore on this island, which comprises less than 15 square miles. And it has already taken 3 days of intense, severe, bloody fighting to secure not even a quarter of the island. However, it was hoped today to reach the Objective 2 line, and then it was thought the island might be secured in an additional 2 days. But that anymore. At this hour of the afternoon, it's about 1:30 now, Iwo Jima time. It has been practically given up the idea of taking the O2 line. In fact, I imagine if we can get through to the O1 line today, that'll be considered satisfactory progress. So when the island will be secured, we don't know.
As the battle mounted in fury, the 3rd Marine Division joined the fight. Iwo would be ours, that we knew, but much fighting was still ahead.
Every once in a while in the background, you can hear the sound of Marine mortars going off. There's a mortar in place just a few yards to our left here, and they're tossing shells over the airport embankment of the Japanese troops on the far side. Just a while ago, just before we started on the air, the Japanese dropping a couple of mortars down into this position. We all sprayed the foxholes then, but perhaps not perhaps, but it's rather difficult for them to get mortars down in here. We're trying to spot that sound. You might have heard in the background. It was one of the Marines cleaning out a machine gun then, the way and letting go a few rounds and testing firing one of the machine guns off one of the tanks. That silence was caused by something you might have heard. If you heard the sound like the flutter of birds' wings in the background, that was the sound of a mortar shell or an artillery shell that went over our heads here. And we sort of stopped for a while to look around and see what the reaction of these other men were. If people could spot where the thing was going, whether it was necessary to dig ourselves into the sand even farther, but obviously it's gone But they say that the ones you hear you don't have to worry about.
A lot of them we heard and a lot we didn't. Still the fighting was. Not only men and teams, but animals too helped destroy the enemy at Iwo. We called them war dogs, and the work they and their handlers did was epic. Some of the men who didn't carry weapons also fought at Iwo, and valiantly too. This is about that.
I want you to meet one of the most interesting group of men fighting with the Marines on this island. The chief ambulance drivers who work out of the different hospitals here, the mobile field hospitals that follow the Marines up as they move forward. Now, there is a small group of men attached to each of these hospitals, a dispatcher, and then a group of men who drive the little Jeep ambulances back and forth. And those men are pioneers in one way. They have to carve the roads or find the ways up to the front line as the men move forward on foot. And they get to the front line aid stations, pick up the casualties, and drive back very slowly to these rear aid stations or to the beach or the planes that are going to take the men out. On the way up, they race like the very devil because there are always more casualties waiting for them. And then coming back, they drive very slowly and tenderly so that they don't hurt the men who are lying in the ambulances.
We cared for our wounded, buried our dead, and prayed for the end of the battle.
It's getting a little bit dark out here now, although it is only about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's been a cloudy, dreary day all day long, and chilly, too, especially for these Marines who've just come up out of the tropics. It's the first operation they've fought in such a northern latitude. While the temperature probably isn't much below 65, it still is very chilly when you're not used to that kind of weather. It makes it particularly nasty at night when you're trying to catch a little bit of sleep in between mortar bursts.
Many of our men slept despite mortar fire. Many slept forever because of it. But the conquest of Iwo was completed after 26 days of the toughest fighting in history. When the Marines took Iwo, the enemy knew the end was near. The end was near, and Iwo was ours.